Manafort and Gates' communications regarding investigations. Until Gates entered into a plea agreement with the SCO in February 2018, Manafort and Gates remained in close contact and regularly discussed the investigations into both of their activities. Manafort and Gates discussed the possibility of a presidential pardon. Manafort recalled that Gates suggested Manafort should ask an attorney for Trump about a pardon. Manafort claimed he had no discussion with the White House or anyone with access to the White House about a pardon. Manafort was aware that the RNC had raised money for a defense fund. Manafort asked John Dowd, then a lead attorney for Trump, if Manafort and Gates were eligible for money from this fund. Dowd said yes. In early 2018, Manafort asked Lawrence Gay, a friend of Manafort and Gates, to dissuade Gates from accepting a plea agreement. Manafort and Gates continued to remain in contact while Gates was proffering to the SCO. According to Manafort, Gates had denied that he was proffering to the SCO. Manafort's associates' ties to Russian intelligence services. Oleg Deripaska and his aides. The committee found that, since at least the time he hired Paul Manafort in approximately 2004, Oleg Deripaska has acted as a proxy for the Russian state and Russian intelligence services. Deripaska has managed and financed influence operations on the Kremlin's behalf. Deripaska's activities include Kremlin-approved and directed active measures, including information operations and election interference efforts, conducted to install pro-Kremlin regimes and strengthen Kremlin-aligned power brokers across the globe. Deripaska's right-hand man for the implementation of Russian active measures is Viktor Boyarkin, a GRU officer working for Deripaska. Deripaska's Kremlin ties. Oleg Deripaska's close relationship with Putin probably dates to Putin's election in 2000. Balance of page redacted. Top of page 139 redacted. Deripaska also has a Russian diplomatic passport and has used diplomatic credentials to attend the UN General Assembly as a representative of Russia. Balance of page redacted. Deripaska's, quote, chief of staff, close quote, Viktor Boyarkin. Oleg Deripaska primarily implements Russian active measures through Russian national Viktor Boyarkin. Boyarkin is a Russian intelligence officer affiliated with the GRU. The committee found reliable evidence suggesting that Boyarkin is part of a cadre of individuals ostensibly operating outside of the Russian government, but who nonetheless implement influence operations that are directed by the Kremlin and funded by key Russian oligarchs, particularly Deripaska. The committee bases its assessment that Boyarkin is a Russian intelligence officer on the following information. Redacted. The following 2 pages are redacted. Boyarkin appeared to coordinate with other Russian nationals operating seemingly outside of the Russian government, but who nonetheless undertook influence operations on its behalf. Redacted. Boyarkin also coordinated sensitive operations on Deripaska's behalf. For example, Nastya Rybka, a former Deripaska mistress, was arrested in Thailand and claimed she was, quote, the only witness and the missing link in the connection between Russia and the U.S. elections, the long chain of Oleg Deripaska, Prihochka, Manafort, and Trump, close quote. Ripka also suggested that she was in possession of more than 16 hours of audio recordings she made of Deripaska's conversations with business associates and Russian political leaders, namely Russian Deputy Prime Minister Sergei Prihochka. Prior to her arrest in Thailand, Ripka's social media posts had been the subject of a lawsuit filed by Deripaska against Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. In February 2018, Navalny posted to his website a 25-minute video outlining alleged connections, including a romantic relationship, between Ripka and Deripaska. The video includes a number of vignettes apparently collected from Ripka's social media accounts and focuses on an August 2016 meeting between Deripaska and Prihochka aboard Deripaska's yacht near Norway. Almost immediately after the video appeared on Navalny's website, Deripaska sought and was granted a court order demanding the removal of a number of Instagram posts and YouTube videos. Russia's communications regulator, Roskomnadzor, issued an order to Russian internet service providers blocking access to Navalny's website on February 15, 2018. Following her arrest, Ripka told reporters she was afraid to return to Russia and offered to tell her story to American investigators in exchange for asylum. Her colleague, Alexander Kirillov, allegedly requested in a letter to the American consulate political asylum for those arrested with Ripka. Her arrest also apparently attracted the attention of Deripaska and his business associates. A recording available on YouTube purports to reproduce a conference call conversation between Georgy, presumably Georgy Ogenov, Tatiana Monahan, and William Sine about this matter. Portions of page 144 through the top of page 145 redacted. In statements to the media in August 2018, Ripka suggested she sent copies of her recordings to Deripaska and expressed her hope that he would help secure her release from prison. In January 2019, Ripka was released from Thai custody and deported to Russia. The committee assesses that Boyarkin handled other influence operations funded by and coordinated with Deripaska, with the approval and direction of the Kremlin. Deripaska's strategic advisor, Georgy Ogenov. Georgy Ogenov is a longtime advisor to Deripaska and is affiliated with redacted. Ogenov attended the Moscow State Institute for International Relations. Waldman described Ogenov as speaking 7 or 8 languages. Walden also assessed that as a senior advisor to Deripaska, Ogenov had direct access to him. Waldman also understood that Ogenov maintains ties to the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, quote, at the deputies level, close quote, and, quote, certainly he and the foreign minister know each other, close quote. Redacted. Ogenov was ostensibly a diplomat. Redacted. Deripaska's role in Russian active measures in Montenegro. While Deripaska influence operations on behalf of the Kremlin span the globe, the activities of Deripaska, Boyarkin, and their associates in Montenegro provide a clear example of Deripaska's malign influence efforts. As noted above, Deripaska first became involved in Montenegro when he purchased a controlling share in KAP, a deal that was likely done in coordination with the Russian government to extend Russian influence in Montenegro. Deripaska hired Manafort, whose company began working in Montenegro on Deripaska's behalf as early as 2005. Redacted. By 2016, Deripaska was involved in funding and executing an aggressive Russian-directed campaign to overthrow the Montenegrin government and assassinate the prime minister in a violent coup. Redacted. These efforts supported a pro-Russia and anti-NATO Montenegrin opposition party, the Democratic Front, DF. Following page and a half redacted. Boyarkin directly facilitated many of these activities, including, redacted, and payments to DF politicians, redacted. Pages 149 through 152, mostly redacted. Deripaska's involvement in other Russian active measures. Deripaska has conducted numerous other Russian active measures campaigns and information operations, including those that interfered directly in democratic processes and elections. Redacted. Other Deripaska employees beyond Boyarkin and Kalimnik are also connected to GRU influence operations, suggesting Deripaska's operations are thoroughly integrated into Kremlin influence operations planning. Redacted. Deripaska's companies, including Rusal, are proxies for the Kremlin, including for Russian government influence efforts, economic measures, and diplomatic relations. Redacted. In approximately 2008 or 2009, Manafort worked on a project for Deripaska in Guinea, where Deripaska had a large interest in bauxite mining and alumina refinery facilities. Boyarkin managed the project for Deripaska. Gates recalled meeting with Boyarkin, Kalimnik, and Manafort about the project. Boyarkin had intelligence regarding politicians in Guinea and contacts within the Guinean government. Deripaska's strategy was to use American campaign techniques in Guinea to get the person he supported elected president. Gates recalled that after working on the project for several months, the presidential candidate Manafort's firm was supporting was shot. After the shooting, Boyarkin moved a Russian military ship to Guinea as a show of force to anyone who was trying to impede Deripaska. Gates believed the work in Guinea ended shortly thereafter, work for which Manafort's firm was paid over $1 million. Redacted to bottom of page and portions of top of next page. Patton told the FBI that he recalled having a Skype call with Boyarkin and Kalimnik on May 24, 2015, about the Guinea project. Patton told the committee during his interview that he did not know a, quote, Victor Boyarkin, close quote. Patton later told the SCO that he did not lie to the committee because at the time he only knew Boyarkin as Victor, a Russian associate of Kalimnik's who worked for Deripaska.